puffing my fucking puffing mic.
Jesus, bro. Welcome to the Empty Glass Podcast.
We're starting. Hey, this is Matt.
Hi, this is Stefan. Yeah, I can still hear your little buzz, but it's okay. Fuck it, man. We'll do it live.
Why the fuck? Like, in case anyone didn't watch our little test podcast last time, we're literally just doing this from our own homes, and we live literally 5 minutes away from each other. So this is just like, for convenience of just being able to do this whenever, it's nice, but we're still kind of in the works of perfecting some things, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, not only just convenience, but the fact that we can just stream this with a click of a button, you know? And I don't know. I do know, yeah, we do live close to each other, but having to go through the setup of the mic every single fucking time and like getting my audio unit to like remember settings is difficult. So I don't know. I feel like this is a little more direct and a little more raw, and it feels pretty good to me, you know?
And also, it's just nice to differentiate podcasts with hanging out, because like when we were doing the podcast last time, that's literally all we were doing. I would come over, we would record, and then I just leave. Whereas last week we played some Halo and some other games, mainly Halo. We had a lot of fun playing.
Yeah, dude. We played a lot of I don't know, what was it, Action Sack, and that was just so fun.
Yeah, just random shit. Like, it was just cool to kind of chill out. We haven't done that in a minute.
Yeah, we have.
Well, we've been doing it a little bit more, but it's very casual. Because I have other shit to do and you have other shit to do.
Yeah, that's what ends up happening, man. But that's life. Speaking of which, man, it's pretty damn frozen. Not a reference to the movie in any way, shape, or form. I just mean that like it's actually like freezing cold. We live in Texas, right? And that's not like normal, so it's fucked.
Well, we get something like this like once a year. Last year we got a winter that knocked out our power for 2 years, but we had a podcast about that, so we're not going to talk about that at all. You're just going to have to listen to it. By the way, I apologize. I'm going to be a little low energy. I literally got off of work and then immediately hopped on the podcast, and work was a bit of a day, honestly.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
Like literally the last 5 minutes of work, I was just pulling my mic over and like getting everything set up before, like, it just literally hopped straight into recording. So I got my beer in my hand. I'm low energy, but going back to Halo, you guys are related to that. My jumping off point was, did you hear about Bungie being purchased by PlayStation?
Yes, that's funny as hell. We were just at the very like tail end of the last episode, we touched on Microsoft, Activision and Blizzard. I always get it fucked up somehow. I'm like Bethesda, but that happened a long time ago. Bethesda happened like almost a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, it was like one of the first purchases when they were starting to, pick their horses to bet on and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Bungie, to my knowledge, I mean, there could be other things, and I haven't been keeping a super close track on it, but to my knowledge, Bungie's probably the biggest American-based company that Sony has purchased for gaming, because they bought Insomniac. Yeah, well, I mean, they bought Insomniac, and Insomniac's a very great company, but when it comes to like, multiplayer, income, marketplaces, and stuff like that, Destiny's a pretty strong company for them to grab.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're going to get ahead of the game. Well, not necessarily, but they're ahead of the game in other ways because they have really good exclusives. Like, I've always appreciated PlayStation exclusives, and it's really not about drawing straws anymore. It's like, you were predicting this last time. You were like, it's just a matter of time before a bunch of game developers, or I mean, like big game platform developers, creators, they start acquiring smaller studios. And then it's just like, who has what studio? So what consoles have what games?
Yeah, and I think it's to the point that, I mean, at least Sony's kind of come to this realization that they can make more money by being multi-platform. But I think, what they have been doing is they will make it exclusive for a limited time. Like, that's what's been happening in God of War and Uncharted. Like, they're finally starting to get it onto PC and shit like that. But after, like 2 years after the game's been released. So I think potentially that's what will happen, at least from Sony's point of view. Xbox or Microsoft will probably do the same thing, but they typically release their Xbox games the same time as their PC. So, or you can play their Xbox games on PC. So, in my case where I don't own an Xbox but I own a PC, I won't have any delay in playing any quote unquote exclusives that I want to play.
That's true. Yeah, you won't necessarily be missing out because you do have like a Microsoft console in the form of a PC. So that's good. Yeah, that's how I got around Flight Simulator for my dad, because I tried installing that on my OG Xbox and I didn't realize it, but they're like completely removing games from the OG Xbox. They're discontinuing games for the OG Xbox and the Xbox S and One X.
Yes.
Not Craziness. The Series S or the Series
don't even.
X.
I don't know if you can tell by the tone of my voice, but I legitimately did not know which one you were talking about and just did not care. So I was completely like, I don't know which one is referring to what, and I'm just fine with that.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. I just referred to as like this gen, last gen, OG. I mean, at least PlayStation. I'm not being the PlayStation head over here. At least PlayStation is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I know. That makes it hell of a lot easier. That's for sure.
Yeah, but Xbox wants to be special. We'll let them have it. It's fine.
Yeah, let them be little special boys. Let them be special in this. I don't know. They're doing pretty good for themselves, though. I will say. I mean, I do like. They're still a big giant gaming overlord, but they've been doing better.
Oh, I mean, like, I don't think there's ever been a question on them doing poorly or bad, or like good or bad, because they're just
right there. Like, I think right there before they launched the Xbox One, and I know, like, good on them, they fixed a lot of that shit. But like at the time, that was pretty blasphemous for them to be like, it's gonna have to always be connected to the internet. It may or may not have a disk drive, and I'm talking about like the first time it came around, people were like, no.
Yeah,
so, I mean, at least they kind of listened right off the bat, but that kind of tarnished their entry in that Xbox One / PS4 type generation era.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's always and like in my head, it's the teenage boys, like, you, me, and Richard and stuff were back in the day. It's like those kind of gamer kids are just always going to float towards Xbox more than PlayStation. I mean, like I said, PlayStation, or not like I said, but like we've talked about before, PlayStation 4 definitely won last generation, and there was more getting PlayStation 4s and Xboxes sales-wise and stuff like that. But the kind of asshole gamers, I guess, like that, or I hate to say it, but I think like the toxic players or the people that at least play toxic games. So they're not necessarily toxic people, but they play those kinds of games, usually play on Xbox.
Yeah.
Your Call of Duties and your...
Yeah.
Gears and whatnot. Well, Gears was only Xbox, but you get what I'm saying.
No, yeah, I'm picking up on what you're putting down. But I guess I've always been kind of an Xbox boy. I don't know. I like PlayStation too, man. It's really hard to draw straws, especially now. It's like they both serve different purposes, I feel like, kind of. And because I do a lot of PC gaming, the Xbox makes a lot of sense because it just, picks up the games I've bought or picks up the games I've downloaded over Game Pass, and that's that, you know what I mean? But I can see how, like, to other people, it does feel like that more of a hardcore type, edgy type console. But I feel like Microsoft, like, in particular, is trying to be more sleek in their design, and they're trying to kind of like access that Apple mindset where everything's really smooth and sleek. And also PlayStation, Sony, really smooth, really sleek. Everything's just kind of looking the same, almost. Just like cars. Like new cars, it's hard for me to tell what's what because they're starting to all look the same.
Yeah. Man, I'm going to throw my car in the garbage. I'm just going to toss it out.
With it? What happened to it? It's like I have an emotional investment to your car. What happened to your car?
You get more of a shit about my car than I do.
I think that might be true.
You will give a shit about any car I ever own more than I do. Because at the end of the day, I just do not give a shit, and it's a vehicle to take me where I need to go.
Yeah, I'm glad you have that mindset. It's probably life is a lot more simple for you.
Well, the thing is, I have that mindset with cars, but I don't have that mindset with the shit that's like in my apartment, for example. So that's, recently I've been having a lot of thoughts of like, man, I would just love to just, burn all my shit down to the ground and fucking just disappear. Like, you just go off like in the middle of nowhere. At that point, I'd probably want a larger car because my car is generally small. It's like the idea is alluring because at some point I'm just like, God, all this shit in my apartment is just to kind of keep me here. Like it's a pain in the ass to move. And I do like playing video games. I like all my nerdy shit I have, but at the same time, like I don't really need it. I don't need a lot of this shit. So yeah, if you ever want to, spend a bunch of your money on the shit I own, Stefan, go for it. I'll let you have first pick. You can buy my PC, my TV, my PlayStation 5, buy all that shit.
Damn, man, are you going through like a
midlife crisis? Probably.
Because I mean, it's just as easy to like rent a U-Haul for the day to move all that stuff. It's like, and I'd help you move. I'd get people to help you move. So.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No. Like
I wouldn't. I would say, yeah, if you wanted to sell your car, bro, you'd probably make a good profit on that thing right now. But then the problem is buying a
I don't have a car. Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is like there's something alluring about just like getting a backpack, throwing it in the back of your car, and then just like disappearing into the desert, like just kind of like explore and like do things. It's an unrealistic mindset, and certainly some people do live it. But at some points, I just feel that I'm like, man, I just want to get away from technology. Like that's the thing is like I love technology, I really do. But at the same time, I'm like I kind of want to separate myself from it a bit and just kind of go out more.
It's not. Yeah, that's not a bad mentality to have at all.
Right. So like I'm a really contradictory person, I feel, because like, well, first of all, I have another contradictory thing I'll bring up in a second, but mainly is, I have a bunch of electronic stuff. I've kept most of my consoles. I still have PS2 games and stuff like that. But if all this stuff were to like burn down or like get stolen, I'd probably be upset about it, but I would live. Like I would get over it fairly quickly.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of same. But like, my life is driven by technology, so I definitely feel that need to like get out and like get away from it. So, but I think more of the mindset of like, why not do both? And I'm very much like, if it's old and it's working, don't fix it. So this is technology that I've invested in for the last 15 years of my life, all kind of culminating together to create one Frankenstein of a beast, and that's. So like what I see, I wouldn't be upset if there was a house fire as long as like all the living things got out, even if like just my cats just ran away.
You have way too many things.
I'd just leave the doors open and just let them figure out what they want to do. That's what I would do, honestly. But you're right. I mean, honestly, like I would be more happy as long as that like the human people got out of the house at the very least. I would prefer that the animals get out too. But I would just leave the doors open and hope they could figure it out for themselves.
Well, and it's also a slightly different situation. Yeah, no, they're not. But it's a slightly different situation because aside from technology, you have people you live with. Where I live by myself. Like for me, like you're saying your family would be safe. Yeah, but for me, like I don't live with anyone. So if my shit burned down, at that point, I'd be like, I'm free. I can just go wherever now. I have no tether. I could disappear. The thought of disappearing, not in like suicidal way. I'm not saying that in like a depressing way. I'm just saying the thought of going off the map, leaving your phone behind, your friends, family not knowing where you are, and you just showing up 10 years later. That's always been a very appealing thing towards me. I don't know why.
10 years later? Holy fuck, man. You're dropping some bombshells on me today.
We had a friend, Dylan, who kind of like is like that. Like if he wasn't living in the next city over, I don't want to dox him, but like if he wasn't living in the next city over, he definitely would be that guy who just fell off the map completely. And that's honestly kind of alluring. Not that I want to do it, but it's something I've always had an interest in. Maybe one day. We'll see.
Yeah, man. I mean, people take like long, extravagant vacations, backpacking trips. And in a lot of those locations, like cell phone service don't work, man. So you'll get a lot of that when our friend Jared and I and my little brother went to Colorado. There was a lot of spaces and places where there was fucking no cell service at all.
Where the fuck did you guys go to Colorado?
Back in 2017, we went to Estes Park.
Bunch of bitches.
Yeah, it was a good time, but
yeah, I'm sure it was.
Dude, fuck.
Actually, speaking of Jared,
we should try to take a trip somewhere sometime soon. I think it's always good to just like clear your mind and go somewhere. It's just kind of hard to justify places. Obviously, like Corona, everything's Corona-y now.
Fuck it.
And since we've already had it, that's something we've had it, and that's something we didn't get to talk about last episode.
Oh, who fucking cares? Everyone fucking had it.
Yeah, that's right. We all got sick. The end.
Yeah, it's really not much to say. I spent 14 days in my apartment alone, and that was cool. End of story for me.
Pretty much. Everything was cool for me too. I just ended up with like some crazy heartburn that was the most wild heartburn I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, imagine what would happen if we didn't get our boosters. Get your boosters, people. It's not hard.
This is the Empty Glass telling you to
give a shit.
Give a shit.
Oh, but what I was going to say is, speaking of our friend Jared and going to Colorado, I actually just messaged him, and I was messaging him and a buddy of ours, Taylor, and I was saying like, hey, you guys down to like start doing some hiking trips? Because I've been wanting to do hiking and stuff like that. I've been wanting to get out, because I get out of my apartment, you know, for long walks once a day or so, or run or something like that. But it's generally the same path. And I'm like, I really want to just like go to different locations and really just spend a whole day or a good amount of time just exploring. Not even necessarily for exercise, just for like that kind of mental relief.
Yeah.
And,
I feel you.
And Jared's like, yeah, he was down to do it. So I think we're going to go really early Saturday morning and stuff like that. And, you know, on one hand, I was like, I'm down to just do this by myself. On the other hand, I don't want to end up like James Franco from that movie. You know, 180 hours, whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, damn it.
The one where he cuts off his arm.
I was thinking about it, and then now I fucking, he cuts, it's James Franco, he cuts off his arm. It's like 127 hours or something like that?
Yeah, the one based on a true story.
Is it 127? That sounds right to me.
Yeah. So like, I'm cool to do stuff by myself. But on one hand, I was like, just kind of be fun to grab somebody, you know, be down. I would have offered you, but it would have been really early in the morning, and
that's cool, man.
I think we've gone for a walk together once.
No, not true. We went not too long ago. We went on a walk to Harburger Park, and we took that new trail. That's
true, but like, I mean, if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. I'm not saying you can't.
Thank you, man.
Would you want to join?
I might consider it. When is it?
Saturday morning. Well, here's the thing. I plan on doing it pretty often. So if you don't want to do it this Saturday, which is potentially going to be very cold and wet and disgusting.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like, you don't have to. You can join in at a later time. But I do want to start doing this a lot more often. I want it to be somewhere between leisure and like actual like exercise. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, not just like, you know, because the walk me and your girlfriend and Jane, the beautiful dog, did was very nice. I really enjoyed that walk quite a bit.
Yep.
But I want something where it's like, you know, don't bring like your freaking Vans or something like that. It's like, no, actually like be prepared to like walk a lot, because you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, absolutely. I'm with you.
Yeah. It sounds really cool.
Maybe not this weekend for sure, because it is nasty as fuck here.
Yeah, and Jared and I were like both down as fuck to like get down and dirty with the nasty shit. So I was like, sweet, because that's to me is like really alluring. I like doing that.
That's cool, man. Y'all do y'all. I'm gonna try to chill this weekend, man. I've been working my ass off. That's for sure.
For sure, and I've been working my ass off too. But working from home. I need to just get out of the apartment. Need to just do my own thing. Get some exercise going. Get some of that grit on my teeth. You know what I'm saying? Bite on some rocks.
Speaking of grit and biting some rocks, do we talk about Boba Fett or do we not talk about Boba Fett? That's the question.
Oh, we can talk about my opinion of Boba Fett, because last time I was pretty
not cool with it.
No, I was neglectful to watch it.
Yeah, you were.
It's been a hard sell. It was definitely I was going to watch it eventually, but I still pretty much do have like very little excitement to watch it. Like, there's 2 episodes left, and I'm just like, okay, like I'll watch them when I watch them. But I think
there's only 1 episode left.
No, I thought there was 2. I thought they stopped coming out the 14th, because I looked up something. I hope there's 2 more, because goddamn, the last 2 episodes had like no Boba Fett in there whatsoever, and it's like the name of the show is called fucking Boba Fett.
Well, it's the book of Boba Fett, and I've been thinking about that a lot, and I'm like, wait, are they taking like a biblical angle here? Because you know, like in the biblical Bible shit, it's not just stories about Jesus, it's stories about other people. So like,
That sounds really silly, and I don't want to think about that. Honestly,
silly. I don't either. But
like, and I'm
like,
thinking like
that's kind of the vibe I'm catching, and even like the music seems like chanty and weird, you know.
And he resurrected from the sand after the Snarlack thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to think about that. That sounds really dumb.
I think that's kind of what the vibe is I'm catching. But hey, I really enjoyed those episodes. But I guess spoiler alert for anybody listening. Hey, you have 5 seconds to stop the podcast.
What was the last episode? Episode 6?
6.
Yeah, so we're going to spoil up to that. So if you don't want to listen to this podcast or this live podcast, you won't want to know that Baby Yoda just fucking dies. Luke just cuts his head off in a training mission.
It's so bad.
Yeah, Baby Yoda shows up, and Luke Skywalker shows up, and Mandalorian shows up, and you know anything that Disney pays for essentially shows up. Ahsoka shows up. Because
shows up.
Yeah, it's all just fucking masturbatory Star Wars shit. I mean, it's good. It's like masturbating when you've already come like 80 times in the day and you're just like you're already burnt out, but you know you still got some in there. You're like, fuck it, whatever.
Gross, dude.
That's how I feel.
Gross. But yeah, no, you told me to look out for that special effect that you said I'd recognize, and obviously you're talking about Luke Skywalker, right?
He looked a lot better.
Yeah, he did. It was really good. Still had a couple moments for me, but I mean that's just life of it. But I mean, like, this is like a 200% increase from it's watchable. I mean, and it's not like when he first arrived, it was unwatchable, but it was just a little uncanny valley. This time, it actually feels a little more genuine, and like they might have even outsourced work for people who like specialize in stuff like deep faking because it looked really good, super convincing.
I think that, and then maybe I'm curious if the person betraying Luke looked closer, so that way it was easier to plant his face on him.
Yeah, I think maybe that's another thing because I know they like copy and pasted his hair on the first time around when he shows up in The Mandalorian, and it was like, oh, like the guy didn't even have bangs, and of course Mark Hamill didn't have bangs when he was working as a stand-in, so they like had to copy and paste the bangs from the deepfake pictures, and it was just a little weird.
Yeah, so I mean, in this time around, like he's not just standing still; like he actually does move around a little bit and kind of gives some glances here and there.
He moves around a lot of it. That motherfucker's moving around a lot for them doing deep faking. That was a big reason why I was impressed. I was like, wow, he's like jumping around and like doing front flips and like running past the camera in all kinds of different angles, and it's like, damn.
Yeah,
they really had to work hard for that effect to get sold the way it was sold. It was really good.
Now, one thing that was interesting before we go into like story aspects was Mark Hamill's performance, which was really disconnected from the environment. Did you feel that?
Well, do you know why?
It's not Mark Hamill?
Yeah. So, what's his name? Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni came up with a synthesizer where basically we're able to record Mark Hamill now and then put his voice through this synthesizer AI unit, and it de-aged his voice. It de-aged his voice.
Right, but so is he not still delivering the lines?
No. So he's delivering the lines, but it's just being processed through a synthesizer, a voice synthesizer.
Right, I understand that. Like, clearly Mark Hamill does not... Mark Hamill sounds closer to the fucking Joker now than he does to Luke Skywalker. Honestly,
he's all super gruff now, man. It's insane. But yeah, so they set up like an AI unit, right? And so Mark Hamill comes in there and feeds the lines to the AI unit. And the AI unit is like, bet. Now I'm going to grab all these little tiny sounds and nuances that you've said on these isolated soundtracks of your lines from previous movies, and I'm going to make what you said now sound like that from back
Ascendance.
Yeah, like you would have said it back in the day.
That makes more sense because I was of the mindset of like if they pitched it or something like that, then at least Mark Hamill's inflation should still be correct. But his inflation is completely fucking wrong, like in every scene. Like it's really weird. You know what? All right, now so after that, transitioning over to the story aspect of it, I was thinking back at the end of the season 2 of Mandalorian, and I'm just like, I was so good with that ending. I was so satisfied with it. It was completely bittersweet, but it was a nice closed book thing. And even though Mandalorian and Baby Yoda didn't fucking meet up again, yes, I know their names are Din Djarin and Grogu, but they're always going to be the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Like, even though they didn't actually see each other meet up, I'm just like, I don't need these characters to still exist anymore. They had their impact on me. Like, the season 2 finale was really impactful, really good. It had a message of, separation and stuff like that. It was just well done. And then it's still open. And I'm like, once again, going back to last week's podcast, is like, this is just Disney. It's like, they don't want to give their customers a closed book, because once that book is closed, they can't sell it anymore. They want to leave that book open forever. They want to leave these characters' lives open forever. So that way you'll just never get closure. And I'm like, I'm cool with a story being done. I'm okay. I want a story, not a freaking character's whole life story, or like their whole life in front of me.
But that's what we're gonna get, man. I mean, that's how it's gonna go. But
it's like reality TV.
I think they'll close caption. I think they'll close different. I'm not necessarily going to say that. I think they'll close captions, but I mean, I think they'll close off chapters and they'll wrap them off really good, and just kind of put like tail ends to certain characters. But I can't see them doing that for Mando anytime soon. I think they're going to hold off any more stuff from the baby to the next season. They might come back to it, but it could ultimately lead to like Luke training Mando or Din Djarin. Because that would be kind of cool.
Would it?
I don't know, kind of.
I don't care. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I like the idea of just not knowing what happens to these characters and just having your own imagination.
Some of these things, because I don't know. I would personally like for the baby to maybe make the decision of the Force.
You know what? I'm cool with the way they end it, where it was ambiguous on what he picked.
Like maybe we'll never know. That would be interesting.
I think humans. And, this is me, too. I'm not saying I'm not a fucking alien or anything like that, or a demon. It could be. Who knows? But
I think you're a demon in my book.
I'll read you a text from my that I said earlier to my family that they thought I was an alien. So we'll tell you. But I think humans have a really big fucking problem with ambiguity. They hate the idea of not having the answers to things. I mean, if you want to say, nowadays this is the case, of like, motherfucker, religion. Like, and if you're listening to this and you're religious, then you can imagine all 100 other religions as this scenario. You don't have to imagine your religion as this. But that's basically why a lot of religions exist, is because some people are just not cool with not having the answers to life. Like, I think it's a general problem that people just don't really focus on. And it's happened before in media. It's not like it's just happening now, but now I think it's being capitalized a lot more nowadays than it was previously, because Disney has the money to do that. They can afford to leave, like I said, that book open for 30 plus years, 50 plus years, 60 plus years, and just keep making money forever.
Which I'm sure they'll do, but I think they'll lay to rest certain stories. Some stories have to just have their final ending. So I don't know. I'm still excited to see what comes of the show instead of getting too far into it. I just think on this basic metahuman level that I'm existing in right now, the show makes me feel good and it's a lot of fun.
It's enjoyable. I've actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It's been surprisingly
good. It's been surprisingly good for me. I didn't expect it to ever match the same kind of vibe that The Mandalorian put out, but they do achieve it. I
don't like the biker crew. I hate their scooters. That's
what a lot of people say.
Like,
I think they're kind of fun. They're kind of fun. It does feel a little like disconnected.
The thing is, I imagine them like on a different planet, not Tatooine. And that's the thing. Like with Star Wars, you could have these kinds of characters exist anywhere, but it's just like on Tatooine, it's just like all of a sudden you're seeing graffiti and like these modification shops. It's just like, I get it. It's a whole world where different things can happen, but at the same time, I'm just like, it's a little odd. Not crazy odd. Like, and I still am interested in them and kind of dig them a little bit. I think my biggest issue was like Boba Fett is kind of lame.
I don't know. I hear that too.
No. He's lame in the modern times. Like in the flashbacks and stuff like that, he's admirable. But as I forgot the title, the Hutt.
Dynamo.
Yeah, as Daimo, he's kind of lame. Like in all of those scenes in modern time, like he doesn't do any interesting decisions. He doesn't really outsmarts anybody or like outguns anybody. he's just kind of there a lot. And I know they're kind of building up to it and shit like that, but it's like, this is already a pre-established badass character. That's why you're making a show out of him in the first place. But even like the teenager kids treat him like shit initially, and he doesn't do anything to impress them other than just saying, hey, I'm going to pay you to do my work for you. It's like, why is he lame? I don't get it. It just should be really easy for him to not be lame.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? Like the tribe stuff, like I said, he's admirable. I like him in the flashbacks and stuff a lot.
I get that. I feel like he's just older now, and that's kind of what they're trying to portray. And then also he's going to have his big moment where he gets to come out and be badass. I feel like that's going to come up.
I hope he just gets shot in the head before he puts his helmet on and it's over. Just like the final scene, everyone's getting up and he has his helmet off. It's like, let the war begin. And they're just right through the head and then drops the helmet.
Could you imagine, dude? That'd be pretty shocking.
I would absolutely love the show. I would stand by it. I would fucking get it tattooed on my chest if they did something like that.
Would you really?
I would. Disney, if you're listening,
yeah.
If you actually do something,
you bet.
If you do something actually ballsy with your property, I will get it tattooed on my chest. I'll get the Book of Boba right across my chest. I mean, you can obviously pay for it because, you have billions of dollars, but, it's up there. Free advertising.
Free advertising.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to
we're halfway through the episode, so I wanted to take this time to remind everybody that they could follow us. You can follow us on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We're all over the place. If you want to check out our main page, it's in our links. I believe you can check us out right on Twitch. And that should link you to all the different places that our podcast is available. So if you want to listen to us outside of Twitch, if you're not listening to us on Twitch, you're listening to us on another provider. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys just keep supporting us by listening. We don't need anything else. We're fine.
Well, this is new. I was not told this was going to happen. Not that I'm against it. Yeah, thanks for listening. But
yeah, I was about to say, what are you going to say? What are you going to be like? No,
I wasn't going to be a dick about it. I was just
don't plug our own podcast.
Yeah, I wasn't told that we were going to be thanking the one person watching our podcast, which I believe is me. Yeah, you're not even watching it. I'm the only one watching it right now.
Well, there you go. But hey,
why the fuck do we have Stu? Why do we have Stu?
Stu is a vibe, man. He catches a vibe.
All right. I mean, not against it. Sure. I have to get Taco Bell tonight.
You want to get Taco Bell?
No, I don't want to get Taco Bell. I have to get Taco Bell tonight.
Bro, is it even open? Because shit should be closed down here.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
What?
Yes.
Well, that'd be a shame because I've made promises. I'm gonna have to get Taco Bell tonight.
Are you gonna just like send some poor Grubhub delivery driver out to get it?
Is it like icy roads? I haven't been outside like all day today.
Yeah, dude, it's icy outside. Everything's icy. You might slip just walking on your fucking pavement, bro.
Damn.
What am I saying? Your stupid ass concrete pathway, walkway. You'll probably slip on that. I
don't know why I had to call it stupid ass. I didn't make it, Stefan.
Hey, I made it up, and I'm calling it stupid ass.
No, I promised. I incited a question to some people in my contacts the other day. Because I didn't ask you because I felt like I knew your answer, but I can ask you now. Out of Subway, Taco Bell, and KFC, which do you like the most?
Why isn't Quiznos in the mix?
Answer the question.
Between Subway, Taco Bell, and KFC.
Yeah, which do you like the most? Or do you have one that's a particular craving kind of place?
I feel like it used to be Subway, but as I've gotten older, Subway's gotten less and less appealing.
Okay,
so nowadays it's probably, I would say, Taco Bell.
Okay. And also, okay, I got that. And so I was of the mindset of like, those three places, for better or worse, are kind of thought lower on the fast food chain. Not saying they're lower in quality, but like KFC just has like a bad run. Taco Bell, at least here in Texas, is usually always combined with the KFC. Outside of Texas, it's usually a little bit better, but in Texas we have a lot more taco shops, so it's kind of lower down here on the scale. And then Subway's, quote unquote eat fresh, but as you said, it's just less appealing. But for me, like I was of the mindset that everyone has like out of those three places, it's kind of not unanimous, but like it's kind of a world thing of like, yeah, they're kind of low in the bar, but God, I fucking love this one out of the three. Like for me, I love Subway still. Like I just legitimately love it. And someone who is a huge advocate for Taco Bell that attacked me when I insinuated that it could have been bad to any degree was my sister. She was like, don't you dare fucking talk shit about Subway. And I was like, or not Subway, Taco Bell. And I was like, oh shit.
Well, look, like I said, Subway was a vibe, man. And for years, I really enjoyed it. And today, I mean, sometimes I do get that weird vibe where it's like, I just kind of want Subway. I don't know why. But nowadays, it seems like the sandwiches are like really wet. And I don't know if it's just like the Subway close by to me that makes the sandwiches this way, but they're super wet. And Quiznos is just as guilty of doing the same fucking thing. So the reason why I say Taco Bell is because Taco Bell, like, at least they have options now. Like, I don't know if you know this, but they have like vegetarian options and stuff too, which is pretty sweet because for years they didn't have anything like that.
They do, but they also just use the same 6 ingredients like over and over. Like it's everything on their menu is just pretty much rearranged versions of their food. It's not a bad thing. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate Taco Bell to any degree. I'm just saying, like, it's the least place I ever go to.
Yeah.
But because
I feel you.
But because I started talking not trash, but because I insinuated that I was lower in the food chain, I have pissed off my sister, and then one of my friends at work was also offended as well. And so now I'm just like, all right, fine. Like I asked my sister, I'm like, what's your go-to order? She said the Gordita Crunch. And I asked my friend, I'm like, what's your go-to order? He said the Crunch Wrap Supreme, whatever. So now I'm just going to like order one of each of those and try and be like, okay, it was good. Get off my back, please now. And I've been procrastinating it the past few days. And now they're like, you have to get it today. I'm like, all right, fine.
So you're just going to send some poor Grubhub driver out the way, or are you going to trek it?
I think I'm going to trek it because from here to there, it's like $5 for that shit. And considering the meals, I looked because I was looking at it earlier on DoorDash. There's like $6 for the meal and then $5 for delivery and then plus tip if I don't want them to spit in my food. I'm like, why am I paying more than the actual meal itself? So I'm probably just going to trek it.
Okay, well, be safe, sir. Be very, very safe. I wouldn't suggest going out on the roads today, but we'll see how it ends up. Hey, I wanted to play a little game in this last 20, 30 minutes we have left in the podcast. We might let it go a little bit longer tonight.
I'm not even keeping track of how long we've been doing
this. This isn't necessarily like a super, super fun game or even necessarily, well, it's kind of, I'm kind of turning it into a game.
My favorite.
It stems from the idea that I was playing a game with my girlfriend Rose, and it was just like, you say the name of a movie or a TV show, and then you give me a synopsis of it that is completely wrong, but I tend to try to like tie it back into the name of the movie. So I'm going to read off one that Rose gave to me, and this one's pretty great, but just give me a second. I got to open up my notes.
So is it my task to try to figure out what the movie is?
Not at all. Your task is to take the name of the movie that I'm giving to you and make a whole new plot for it that has nothing to do with the original plot. And you can tie the name back in if you'd like. I like to do it because I think it's funny. But here, let me open up these notes, because then if I give you an example, it'll let you know the idea of the game a lot easier.
I mean, I've seen the meme, so like I'm pretty sure I have an idea. But go right ahead.
It's kind of like the meme where it's like wrong answers only, sort of, but in the way of like pretending that you know what the movie's about.
Got it. Nothing better than a podcast in dead air, am I right, boys?
This one was just appalling to me. So I told Rose to tell me what Silence of the Lambs is about. And she said, I wrote this down. Silence of the Lambs is about a lamb that's actually Jesus, but Jesus like a lamb. And so it's a children's movie, and it's also Silent Night because it's also Silence of the Lambs. Because Jesus is a lamb who can't talk. And at the end, Jesus, the lamb, is crucified, but in a children's movie type way?
You and your girlfriend, man. Like, I've never met two people that are more fucking identical to each other. Just
The Wolf of Wall Street is just about the wolf.
cool.
Along Came Polly is about a bird. This bird all like shows up and is obviously Polly and wants a cracker, okay? It's a pretty simple plot. So I'm going to feed you the name of a movie. And
I am so beyond excited.
And I want you to come up with its plot, okay?
All right, shoot.
George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle is a story about a jungle named George that inhabits the body of a small child. And it goes to Wall Street to meet a wolf and says, "Hello, I am a jungle. My name George." Then he dies. The end.
Wow, I like the twist. I like how the jungle is named George, not the name of a guy who lives in a jungle. That was a good flip on its head.
Yeah, it's like Swamp Thing, like where he is the swamp, but also in the form of a human, but like it's a jungle in the form of a human, and his name just happened to be George.
It's exactly the vibe it was giving me. Okay, so now you feed me one.
V for Vendetta.
Okay, so V for Vendetta is about this guy. His name is Mr. V, and he works in a bank, and he's just lonely all day. And there's a coworker who works with him, and he's like, "Hey, man, you look pretty lonely. Like, you want to go out for a drink?" So he's like, "Sure." So this guy, Mr. V, goes to the bar to meet his coworker, and his coworker stands him up. But he meets this girl, and this girl is the love of his life. But it turns out she's actually a mummy. So when she crumbles away and turns into dust, he's like, "That's really shitty." And it's super sad. But then he goes back to work and starts getting better. But then they fire him. So he's like, at the very end, he's like crumpling up all of like his papers, and like he has all of his work stuff piled in his like studio apartment, and he like gets on his knees and he's like, "I shall have my vendetta," and that's it.
And that was pretty great. Do you mind if I take an alternate synopsis to that?
Sure, give me the alternate ending, please.
No, not an alternate ending, just an alternate synopsis. So after 30
synopsis.
So after 30 years of research, the company that have made the world's best vibrators has made the greatest vibrator of all time, and it was ultra powerful, ultra strong. So they named it Vendetta. And then they went up to their first customer and they said, "Ma'am, this is a Vendetta for your V." And then you just switch the name around to V for Vendetta. There you go.
I wish I could,
V stands for vagina.
I wish I could. Yeah, good joke, bro. Great joke. I didn't get that. Now that you say that, it made it a lot better. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Now that you say that, it totally makes sense. Okay, so my turn to feed you one. Let me think about it. Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver is the story of a garbage man that when he gets in his car, a dude passes by and says, "Hey, aren't you a taxi driver?" And he says, "No, I'm a garbage man. Fuck off."
I get it. So it's like an M. Night Shyamalan type twist where you think it's
how fucking dare you.
So how long is the runtime on that movie? 4, 5, 60 seconds?
Yeah, 6 hours. No, 6 hours.
6 hours. Wow. Is that the director's cut or the straight to theatrical cut?
It's literally following the garbage man the entire time, and he is a mute, so he doesn't actually talk. But as the guy asks him, "Are you a taxi driver?" when staring at this filthy man in his filthy truck, because not that he's a garbage man, he's filthy. He's just a filthy person in general, and just so happens to work for a garbage company. And then asks him like, "Hey, are you a taxi driver?" And he says, "Nah, man, I'm not a taxi driver. I'm a garbage man." And then he then is shocked by the revelation that he can talk, and begins to tear up a bit as he realizes he can finally tell his wife that he loves her, but then realize he doesn't actually have a wife. He just stalks a woman down the local diner and decides to just, steal her skin and post it up to his wall and tell her that he loves her every day.
Wow, the fact that your voice is like distorting as you talk really adds to the creep vibe of that.
Yeah, my voice is getting a little bit more vibrating and like lower. Not intentionally, I was just doing that. Yeah.
Okay, your turn. Feed me. Let's do one more.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Okay, so there's these two astronauts. Astronauts.
No, keep it astronauts. Okay, yeah,
there's these two astronauts, which are much different than astronauts, and they live on the moon, right? and they like are supposed to come back to Earth, but guess what? A giant asteroid comes and hits the moon, and it destroys their only means of getting home. So at first they're like, okay, we got to turn this into a Matt Damon type situation and grow potatoes. But they realize that their rations literally don't have potatoes as any of the ingredients. They have shit like kelp. They have shit like tomatoes. They have shit like toothpaste, but they don't have shit like potatoes. So they start planning. They start planting and planning like how they're going to live on the moon. And they meet a bear. And the bear comes out of the moon, and it's
on the moon.
Bear. Yeah, it's the moon bear. And it turns out the moon bear's a nice guy, not evil. And he helps them create a new world there. And they find out. Get this. This is the big twist.
Yes,
the government's been lying, bro. You can fucking breathe on the moon. So the bear one day is like, but they've been living on the moon so long that they can understand the bear. And so they're like, okay. And they both decide to take off their helmets at the same time, and they can breathe and they can live. So it like pans out from the moon and goes right back to Earth, and it shows Earth like turn into shit, and then it goes back to the moon, and the moon is like the new civilization. And it was like, and then it's like Moonrise Kingdom.
So does Caesar show up at the beginning or the middle?
I'm sorry, what?
Does Caesar show up at the beginning or the middle?
Caesar who? Oh, like from the Planet of the Apes?
Seize these nuts, bro.
Oh,
got it. But no, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 rating. I would definitely, if I were with Columbia Pictures, I would purchase that movie and show it to literally no one. But
I got one more movie title for you. I want you to give me a synopsis for.
All right.
Give me World War Z. What is that about?
Back in the 24th century, there existed a planet named Z. Z then went into a war with the fellow men. Men, as they were known, were actually females, but they identified as men because it's an alternate planet. So the females as men went to war with Z. Z is the planet, but there was also a boy named Z. So Z on the planet Z went to the battle with the boys who were also men, but went by females. But the females were actually men, and the ladies, they did their own thing, honestly. So the battle lasted for 100 years before the show finally got canceled. But then Disney picked it up and decided to make a full-blown show out of it, movie series, Videocom, podcast, and then it died forever. JK, it's still going to this day. Buy your tickets now.
I'd watch it. Bravo on that one. That was a good one.
Thank you.
So, what's your favorite kind of cookie, my friend? Are you a raisin boy? Are you a peanut butter boy? Are you just a plain old chocolate chip?
But do we have like 3 minutes left of the podcast and you're trying to fluff or something?
No, not at all. No, we actually have like 15 minutes of the podcast left. So
that's cool. No, I mean, why are you asking me? Shouldn't you know what my like favorite thing of all time is?
I don't know what your favorite cookie is, bro. I was thinking about it recently, and I was like, I really don't know what my friends' favorite cookies are. I would be if someone was, had a gun to my head and I was tied up to a chair and they told me what's Matt Cantu's favorite cookie, I'd be like, I have no idea.
My favorite cookie is the Docs cookie. Thanks for doxing me, bro. But that's kidding.
No,
I don't care. But I feel like I've been very consistent on the one. Have I not made it clear, Stefan, that I love chocolate?
Yeah, but you could have like a chocolate raisin cookie, and that could be your favorite, and I wouldn't know that. You could have like a double chocolate cookie, and that could be your favorite, and I wouldn't know that. You could have a chocolate fudge cookie, and that could be your favorite cookie, and I didn't know. You see where I'm going here?
I don't really go to places that have a lot of variety in cookies. I usually just, they usually just have chocolate cookie, and I get that.
I love cookies. I love all cookies.
Oh, okay, fuck you. I didn't know you were talking about Girl Scout cookies.
Well, I haven't gotten there to go. No, that was what it was going to go to next.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's your just overall favorite cookie? My overall favorite cookie is probably chocolate chip cookies, just because it's easy. What about you?
Yeah, chocolate chip cookies.
All right, now what's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Tagalongs.
Tagalongs, good choice.
Or Samoans.
Samoas?
Sure.
Matt,
yeah.
We don't eat Samoans, sir. That's wrong.
Yeah, you fuck them.
You're fucked, bro. But no, those are good. My favorite are, can you guess?
Thin Mint.
Damn, dude. Kind of. Yes, it's Thin Mint on a day-to-day basis, but I also really like I forget what they're called, but they're just like the normal like shortbread cookies. They're like just plain cookies. I'm trying to think what they're called.
That sounds really boring. You sound like a boring person. I don't want to talk
talking
anymore.
about. You don't know what I'm talking about? They're like the vanilla wafer type ones that the girls
Oh,
have.
yeah, I know what you're talking about, but those are just the basic bitch ones.
Fuck you, bro. I love those things.
I mean, great. They won't go out of stock for me buying them.
Thank
You can eat them all
I
yourself.
will eat them all. That's exactly what I was going to say.
They'll look like me. Be careful.
So have you not been playing a whole lot of video games recently? You just been kind of putting it down for a bit?
No, I did not say that.
Okay.
Oh, so this is my hypocrisy where it comes in. You remember last week when I was talking shit about the new Pokemon game?
Yeah.
I bought it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has this happened where like I've shit talked a game and then like I just end up buying
Literally
it regardless?
every time you buy a game, I feel like not necessarily, but more times
it's very close.
More times than not, I would say you are just like no to that game, and then
here's
like
the
a week
thing.
later you're like, I bought the game and I put 15 hours into it and it's pretty good, or I bought the game and I put 2 hours into it and I regret it. And that's usually the two responses that I get from you.
Yeah, so like here's the thing. I will always shit talk a game because regardless, or not all games, like I will shit talk a game that deserves to be shit talked. Because at the end of the day, I can see the things that are wrong with it before the game comes out, and I will have problems with that. But then I will be incredibly bored. I get bored very, very easily, and so when I have nothing better to do, and when I have a game like Dying Light that's finally coming out tomorrow. But I have a week until that comes out. You better believe I'm going to pick up Pokemon. And it's not bad, but I will very soon. In fact, I haven't played it in 2 days. Like I will hit the point very soon where I will just put it down and never pick it up again and will be completely okay with it.
Is it like Breath of the Wild?
I mean, no, not really.
So is it like a Pokemon game still? Do they keep like say you run into like a wild Pokemon? Does it go into like the animation of the? Because I don't know anything about this game other than the fact that it was built like on the Breath of the Wild engine.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's refreshing. The fact that people compare to Breath of the Wild is a little misguided. Like, I can see the definite inspirations, but it doesn't play like that really. So like I said, it is very refreshing. If you like Pokemon games, or if you have liked Pokemon games, you may actually find this to be an enjoyable kind of thing to do or play. Stefan, if you're curious, I can bring it over next time I see you if you just want to fuck around for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe so. This sounds like fun.
Yeah, I mean, it is genuinely fun to kind of like grab a bunch of Pokemon and stuff like that. The battling system is really weird in the sense that like it's the same battling system when you do battle and stuff like that, but they're much quicker. They're much shorter battles because in a way it's harder because you die a lot more quickly, but at the same time you also kill just as quickly. So they're just very fast paced. I don't know. It's tense, but it's a different kind of tense than like, you know, going against like the Elite Four or old school Game Boy where it's like, oh my God, this is like a fucking gauntlet battle. This one's more of like a samurai battle of like just one swipe and someone's dead or something.
Interesting.
So it's good. It's not bad. Still doesn't excuse that the game looks awful for it being, you know, a multi-billion-dollar company, but gameplay wise, it's entertaining. Sure, if you like it, you like it.
Nice. I know the last time you were here and we were actually hanging out, we talked about emulating something on the computer. What was it? Maybe the old school Battlefront?
We talked about a lot of things. Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about NFTs, like stuff that probably would have been better in the podcast than some of the things we already talked about. But we talked about Battlefront 2, the OG PS2 one or something.
PS2 one, and maybe
the PSP. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, we were talking about. I think it's called Rogue Squadron or something. No, that's a different game. I think it's called Rebel Assault or something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe emulating that one to where now I don't know because the PSP doesn't have like native 2-player split screen built in, so we might be better off like just getting Battlefront 2 on the Xbox, you know, and then just playing with the controllers that way because it'd be a lot less setup. Because I know for sure they're gonna have the split screen options in that version.
No.
And it would be HD, so that's nice. It wouldn't be like remastered, but it would fill the whole screen and definitely be a vibe. But yeah, I used to play the shit out of the old school Battlefront. Galactic Conquest was my jam, bro.
You've been saying vibe a lot more recently.
Vibe, kind of vibe. Hey, can I tell you a story about that song? Do you know that song?
No, I don't.
It's called like "Meet Me at Our Spot." It's that Willow Smith song.
Yep, never heard of it.
Okay, well, this is terrible. Okay, so like just pretensing everybody here, this is terrible. But the song is like, she's like, caught a vibe. Baby, are you coming for the ride? But when she's like, caught a vibe, when I first heard it, dead ass serious, I thought she was saying Columbine. And I was like, why are people listening to this fucking song? And then finally one day it clicked in my head that she was saying caught a vibe. And I was like, wow.
How many times did you listen to the song?
Not enough times to be able to hear what she was saying, obviously. But that was like the first, because it's like a TikTok song, you know? Rose watches TikToks, and like, I honestly haven't been on TikTok in a long fucking time. I was on it way too much, and I was like, I need to get rid of it. And so I would just like hear the song, and one day I was like, I asked her, I was like, why is she saying Columbine? Like Columbine? And Rose was like, no, absolutely the fuck not. That's not what she's saying. And I'm like, oh my God, that's typical of me, but that's just where my brain went. And I honest to God, that's what it sounded like. Keeping it controversial in the last like 4 minutes of our podcast seems to be the thing now, but that's what I thought she was saying. And I was like, damn, like it's crazy that a lot of people are vibing to this song. Pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stand TikTok videos, and that's also why I deleted Instagram. Like, there's just a big thing on. I call them ADD.
I help manage a couple Instagram accounts, and like,
it's fine. I wasn't talking.
No, you weren't talking. And I'll end up accidentally hitting like the Reels button, and it's just basically TikTok but on Instagram. It's so annoying.
But I mean, even when you go past, because when you go past your friends' videos and stuff like that, you get all the recommended stuff. It's all basically those types of videos, and I call them just ADD media because it's meant to just be really short and make you watch a bunch of it and eat a bunch of junk food. It's like junk food media essentially.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on this last episode a little bit. I feel like
we probably did. Like it was personally, that's just not for me. I can't stand it. Like, don't get me wrong, I waste my time on my phone a lot. I mainly waste my. You know what's crazy? I have deleted Instagram, Twitter, like all like social media stuff. And most of my time on my phone just goes to dating apps. And that's not in the sense of like, oh, I'm desperate, I need a girlfriend or something like that. Sure? It's just maybe a little bit. I mean, not all of us can be blessed to literally find someone to move in like a month after setting up. It wasn't even a month. It was like, how long before you set up your dating app did you meet your girlfriend?
The next day.
Yeah. Fuck you. But no, in a lot of times, like when I go through dating apps and stuff like that, it's just a way to pass time. Like the other day I had like 5 different people I was talking to, and I was just like, I eventually just got bored and was like, okay, I don't know all these, or like I was like, nah, I don't like this, I don't like that. Like, so I am super picky, probably a little shallow. That's fine to a certain degree, but it's just like. That's where my time goes. Like I'll look at profiles and sometimes I just won't even match with anyone or I won't talk to anyone. I just was like, fuck it, judge.
Yeah, I actually talked with Rose about this concept, and it's just like you replace something with another thing. I deleted TikTok, but now I find myself like on Instagram, on Facebook Marketplace, scrolling shit. No, fuckers. And then on Reddit too. Like I'm on Reddit a lot, and I'm like, damn, dude. Like it's true. Like if you just delete something else replaces it. So you deleting all your social media apps just turned into that being replaced by now you trolling dating apps. It's so I don't know if that's quite the upgrade though.
No, I don't know. I don't troll, and also in the back of my head, I'm always like.
You troll.
Maybe no. I really don't.
You troll. Honestly. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding.
I will, however. Do you want me to read you an insert of one of the craziest things I said to somebody?
Sure, give it to me. Let me hear it live.
So I am a firm believer that you should always just be yourself as early as possible. You don't want to hide any aspect of yourself. And I am a weird guy. I say weird things. I have weird friends. So I say weird shit pretty off the bat. And so I don't want to give away too much of this person's identity because it is just a random
this person blah blah, like from How I Met Your Mother, because that's fresh in my brain.
Right, but I don't even want to give like what they do. So essentially, they work in a certain field where I was curious, like, ooh, do you have any secret behind the scenes knowledge? And they're like, oh, what do you mean? I was like, oh, like secret embezzling, making things worse for the general people. Okay, I will say it involves the mayor. So I'll say, like, does the mayor put ketchup on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Real sick shit like that. And they're like, I don't think they do that. I think they order just plain chicken sandwiches from Whataburger. And I was like, do you see plain chicken sandwiches, which means that they are saving the sauce for peanut butter sandwich related purposes. There's a conspiracy happening here and it's ready to blow. And then she proceeded to not respond for 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been able to tell that was a joke, but some people, man, they just don't get it.
No, she finally did reply and said it was a joke, but of course now at this point I don't really care.
You're just like, fuck it.
I lose interest very quickly with things, and these dating apps are meant to be shallow as fuck and to keep you there, and it's just there's a whole other aspect to these dating apps which I will not go into because it's just incredibly personal, honestly. But so I'm willing to tell you, Stefan, as a person, but not any kind of recorded format.
No, I understand. Absolutely. I mean, you don't have to give away all your secrets here.
But there is a lot of stuff about dating apps.
Just a couple, man, if you can spare.
Oh no, of course. Because I find dating apps just really funny. Like
these LOL funny.
Well, no, you get a bunch of cliches. I've been on dating apps for too fucking long at this point. It's been a very long time. And I've noticed a lot of patterns people do, a lot of annoyances. I have shit I could go off about dating apps a lot. One of the biggest things to anyone, definitely not watching our Twitch right now because I'm the only one doing that, but anyone who may listen to this as a future recording, little note, don't qualify yourself over a show that you liked 10 years ago. Don't make that a qualifying detail of yourself. One of the biggest things I see is we'll get along best if you like The Office. You liking a show from 10 years ago is not an identifying characteristic about yourself or anything interesting. It just shows that you have capitalized your whole personality on a show that's already been over and that you refuse to move on to anything else, or you choose that as your identifier of yourself. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but it is kind of a telling thing of you can't think of anything else other than saying, this show that's been over for years is your identifier. It's this is you. It's stuff like that is just kind of silly. One interaction I had once also was someone said, "I'm looking for someone educated." I was like, okay, weird. And I ended up matching with her, and she was like, "Are you educated?" And I was like, "In what regard?" And she's like, it's a simple question. I'm like, well, I completed high school. That's your idea of education. I took some college. I've watched YouTube tutorial videos. I know how to hold a proper conversation. I have social skills. I able to do my job at work. It's you just hear the idea of education or educated as a label, and you think that makes you intelligent or choosy by saying that. But you don't even know what you're looking for. You can't even identify. Do you mean in the sense that you want someone who's been in the same college as you or been in the same field as you've been? But no, you just say educated because it's just a blanket statement that makes you sound a little bit better. That was shallow, honestly. And I was like, I didn't call her shit or anything like that, but I did say the whole what do you mean by educated? Here are all my things I know how to do. I know how to fucking ride a subway. It's more education than some people have. In that regard, it's just kind of really dumb stuff you come across.
Well, I hope you feel better, and I hope the therapy session here was pretty good.
No,
good
fuck
luck,
you,
buddy. Sorry that happened. Yeah, that's pretty low blow. And yeah, I feel like people do that nowadays. Woke is one of those things for sure. It's why are you woke? It's well, what do you mean by woke? Do I know about the current political social situation, or what do you mean?
Woke is also really
darting
dumb.
Left and right. What are you talking about? But I'm glad that you got that off your chest. Anyway, do you have any last?
God damn, you're making me sound really bad here.
Hey, man, I'm here to support you and love you.
I don't need your support. I'm just saying, like, it was a bit ridiculous, and that was it.
I'm with you. But hey, I'm glad you enjoyed your therapy session here.
I'm gonna slap the shit out of you next time I see you.
Oh God, no, please.
With my rings, both of them.
Well, thanks for listening to the Empty Glass Podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Do you have any last touching points? We have like another 10 minutes. I'm gonna give it another 10 minutes. Let this episode ride a little longer.
Okay. Well, thank you for tuning into Empty Glass. I'm kidding. It's just I mean, I guess continuing with dating apps and shit like that, and like honestly, I don't really see it as depressing. Like I see, that's what everyone says, I guess, but no, it's just like I'm doing my own shit aside from it, so it's just kind of a thing to like pass the time. Like I said, I gave up Instagram and stuff like that, so this is just my bored on my phone. This is what I'm gonna do. I've read every article on the news, so like I might as well do this type of situation.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue for me is that it's a bit of an uphill battle because I'm so against a lot of the mindset of Texas where we're based. Like if someone's like, I want to go line dancing, I'm like, that sounds fucking awful. I could probably line dance once a year or so like that, but there are legitimately people that are like love to go line dancing or like to do things that are considered, kind of Texan and shit like that. And it's such a distaste for me that those are like immediate turnoffs. And I'm not saying every girl here is like that. Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about guns. Like I just like
I know.
Don't mind the guns. I do mind the people. I'm pretty sure I've talked about my opinion on guns here before. I was just like, it's a fucking hunk of metal, like whatever. It's just the people holding that hunk of metal I don't trust.
Yeah, you can't trust people, man.
I don't trust anybody. That's why I'm alone.
I only trust our grand sponsor, Hyundai of North America. I'm just kidding. They're not our sponsor.
It could be. I drive a Hyundai, so they could be.
You do. But if they hear about how you haven't washed it in like a year, they might.
I knew you were still upset about that. I knew you were still upset.
I don't forget things like that, man. That poor paint. That beautiful paint job with a year of not washing it, I can only imagine. It's probably not that bad, though, because at least your car is pretty new in comparison. So you have pretty good quality paint. But it still makes me very sad. You're very right, and I haven't let it go.
Well, I know. I know you. Would you be offended if, like, I sold my car without consolidating you at all?
No, because it's your car, and I don't give a fuck because it's your property. But I would just be like, "Damn, man! Well, that was a great car."
Oh, because like, one. Yeah, I think the next one.
I just think I would miss it. I would probably miss it more than you. I'd be like, "Damn, man! Do you remember your Hyundai Kona?" And you'd be like, "Whatever." That's what it would end up being like in the next 5 years.
Well, the thing is, like, I honestly would look back at it, but it's the same thing with my Taurus. Like, I liked my Taurus, but then you're like, dude, remember your Taurus? I'm like, yes, I remember my Taurus. Stop asking me.
I miss Maria.
See, you've killed it for me.
Dude, Maria, bro. Maria was a bomb-ass car. There's some memories in that car, that's for sure.
I guess it's just the type of person I am. This isn't just you. Like, this is a lot of people that I know that are, like, I guess, sensitive, where it's like, oh, man, I really like this thing. It's like,
the word is
oh, dude. Huh?
Sentimental.
Yeah, where it's just like I think to myself like it's like man, I really like this car, and then someone else like, man, I loved your car. It's like, yes, I know, but it's a hunk of metal. Shut up. Like the emotions I have once.
On too.
Oh, Olivia. Yeah, Olivia Wilde.
Not as much as Maria though. Maria was definitely OG.
God, I fucking destroyed Olivia because I just smoked a lot in my car.
Damn.
Leather.
Damn. Olivia was a smoker, huh?
I mean, so was fucking Maria, and even Blue for a little while. That's why.
That's crazy.
Get that nice little fucking cigarette burn in my car to remind me that I've been sober for 2 years, almost 3 years.
Wow.
It's coming up on 3.
Congrats.
Sober on cigarettes, not alcohol. God, I'm drinking alcohol now, for fuck's sake.
Oh, damn. I wish I was. I don't even have a drink near me. It's kind of fucked. I've just been dry recording this whole time.
Damn, dude. You're naughty. You're a naughty little boy. I'm looking to see how much it is to DoorDash Taco Bell right now because my shithead friend said I should stay home and not drive.
It's 29 degrees and getting colder.
Mm. God, I was so annoyed. So did you not work today because of whatever?
No, I still work today.
Okay. For my job, the locations, and I definitely don't want to say where I work, but the physical locations were all closed down. So people who work in offices and stuff didn't have to come in, where I work from home. So I still had to work. And I was just like,
welcome to my life.
Bitch, I've been living this life for the past 2 years too. So
yeah, 5 years for me.
Right. I'm just saying, I've been here for a minute. It's still annoying.
I win. I'm just kidding, bro.
Do you work with anyone that works in an office though?
Yeah, quite a few of the people do work in an office, but then there's a couple people that are like the head honchos, and they work from wherever.
Damn, dude.
So we get a lot of correspondence, and because we've had to work in the Corona climate, this is nothing new. I used to actually have to go to a physical location to edit the stuff I edit, but now I edit all this stuff on my stuff, and that's been a lot better. It's definitely had its ups and downs, but I've got it all set up in a way that I got it set up now, which works really good for me. And I actually do 90% of my editing now on a laptop.
That's pretty sexy, my dude.
Right? It's pretty wild, because if you would have told me 2 years ago before coronavirus that hey, you're going to be doing the same stuff, but just from your own office, and a laptop is going to outperform your custom $2,000 plus PC from 2015. And I was like, damn. That's what I would have said to myself. I would have been like, damn.
Steffi, I need your help. Let's say, do you have a recommendation from Taco Bell?
I personally get the Doritos Locos Tacos. I do the 3 Doritos Locos Tacos combo with the Baja Blast. I always get a Baja Blast to drink. And I might do a crunch wrap on the side along with that, because the 3 tacos are not enough.
Is crunch wrap supreme? Is there... Wait.
So the only difference between a supreme and a regular is that a regular is going to have regular cheese and no sour cream, where a supreme is going to have queso for its cheese, like nacho cheese, and it's going to have sour cream.
God damn, dude. It's almost fucking $20. I only have 2. I have a gordita.
Ending the episode with you asking me,
how the fuck else are we going to end this shit?
On a fucking Taco Bell.
I'm sorry, did you have a better ending for this?
No, I actually really didn't, but it's just a surprising one. I'm not saying it's a bad one. I'm just saying
I need your help as a friend, and I would appreciate it if you were supporting me in this time.
I'm trying to help you, dude. I'm trying to help you.
Why the fuck is it?
What can I do for you?
Now I'm being a single...
How are you doing?
Shut the fuck up.
Welcome to Taco Bell. How can I take your order?
All I'm trying to get is a single guy. Okay, we're doing a bit here. Sir, all I want is a single cheesy gordita crunch and a single Crunchwrap Supreme. Why the fuck is it coming out to $11? Why the fuck is there a $5.49 delivery fee? And why the fuck do I have to pay an additional tip of $3, thereby bringing it to $8.49 for a delivery on a fucking total of $11.24? That's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Well,
I'd like to speak to your manager, please.
Well, since I am, what are you using, Grubhub?
Yeah, they don't have it on DoorDash, which I think DoorDash would have been cheaper.
Okay, well, since I am Grubhub, I will answer you in the most helpful way that I know possible. Here's our frequently asked questions page. You can click through to here to read the responses to the same questions that people have and the same answers. We also have a chat bot that will bring you nowhere. And then we do have a live support call center, but they are closed right now. So.
Okay, I'm ordering a pizza.
Thanks for listening to the Empty Glass Podcast, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Empty Glass Podcast. This has been your main host, Matt, and your co-host, Stefan.
Yeah, sure. You win. Anyways, I hope you guys like winning as much as we do, because we are going to try to be doing a podcast once a week here on Twitch. We also have our stuff.
I would not be even saying shit like that. There have been too many times where we've said we're going to try to do something that doesn't pay off. True.
Well, I guess we'll find out where this goes, but you can.
This is technically the 9th revival of this stupid thing.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe 3rd or 4th, but
no, because we had this fucking YouTube channel, then which revived 2 times in one span, and then the podcast we've had it go probably
YouTube channel too. I guess so, because I think the
Empty Glass as a brand has had fucking issues for so long.
Well, let's hope to God those issues have been put to rest and that we keep doing this because I'm having a good time.
Dear Jesus, please allow this podcast to be epic.
Dear Jesus, please listen to our prayers. But Matt, good luck ordering your Taco Bell. To anybody listening, good luck ordering your Taco Bell. And you can follow us here on Twitch. You can follow us on iTunes. We also are on the Apple Store, the podcast app on the Apple Store. We're on Google Podcasts. I'm fucking this up. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. So we're all over the place.
And if you use promo code Dirty Shits, you can get yourself your first taco from Taco Bell free with the purchase of a Baja Blast or more.
That got me good, dude.
Good, finally. Got one out of you.
You got one out of me. Well, on that note, let's end it there. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.